I think the other part is we have to realize gambling is an addiction. So the addiction of it is what makes you make illogical decisions. You have to realize gambling is an addiction.
Why does Charles look like this?
The addiction of it is what makes you make illogical decisions. So not because you make $9 million. There are people who are making, as the FBI director says, there's a man who lost $1.8 million. That means he has a lot of money. So he has an addiction.
That's why Charles took it so lightly. Still the real AD. He's a gambler himself. And he's sitting here like, look at Damon Jones' face. He's sitting here just like rolling his eyes at the fact that Kenny Smith had an opinion about this.
Those fish that they talk about that they were bringing in. So gambling
is an addiction is what set Charles Barkley off.
Is an addiction which can make you make illogical decisions regardless of your ethnic background, regardless of your physical background, and regardless of your financial status. So let's understand that. And I disagree in terms of the NBA dropping the ball. This is an ongoing investigation. There's no way that any FBI or police even would come to anyone and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is the surprise element always makes it happen. So they cannot overextend the information that they're receiving. And this is about individuals. And last, and I'll let you talk, Chuck. I
wish you would, because you're making me mad right here.
Well, I can make you mad and you can make me mad. I just have my opinion. You're going to have yours. But I also think that because there are people who get speeding tickets doesn't mean everyone in the league speeds. And so don't look at this group of people that starting to get investigated as the entire league.
I really just want this. You say the league dropped the ball on the Rozier part of it? Because they had already looked at it and said we didn't have enough, but not on the Chauncey. They didn't drop the ball on Chauncey.
First of all, these are two different things.
Yeah, exactly.
It's two different things.
So the league dropped the ball on Rozier, you
Take
say.
Chauncey out the equation.
All right.
And the reason I'm mad at Kenny is, man, this ain't got nothing to do with damn gambling addiction. This ain't got nothing to do with addiction. These dudes are stupid.
How can it have nothing to do with gambling addiction if the only reason why gambling exists to this day, 10,000 years of human existence, we've been betting on who can kill the cow the fastest, who can run up the fucking tree the fastest. We bet on everything. The last one back is a rotten egg. We bet on everything since we were kids. And then the older you get, the more the stakes become higher. What the hell is Charles Barkley talking about? Yo, clearly he's upset with Kenny Smith saying gambling addiction is what drove this. I don't know if he's ever had a conversation with Charles Barkley off the air about gambling addiction, but obviously Charles Barkley has some problems. He's talked about spending millions on gambling, losing millions. They had the golfer back in the day, big dude, Daly, lost millions on gambling. This ain't no joke. Charles Barkley even uttering this is insane.
Why are they stupid?
Under no circumstances can you fix basketball games. Under no circumstances. I love to gamble. The notion, like, Rozier makes $26 million. Him betting,
Darlene, what's going
giving
on?
people information or
he makes how much?
Him bet, like, Rozier makes $26 million.
Rozier makes $26 million and he still participated in this. But gambling addiction has nothing to do with this. And I'm not saying he's an addict. Let's unravel this for a second. Terry Rozier doesn't have to be an addict for this to be an issue or for this to be persistent and make headline news with the feds. Terry Rozier doesn't have to be the problem here. He could just be associated with the problem. Charles Barkley being on ESPN with ESPN Bets as a part of ESPN now, which, by the way, let's not forget, the company that aligned, the sports book that aligned with ESPN to create ESPN books, left Barstool. They broke up from Barstool. They made a whole bunch of money on the deal, sold like his equity for $1 or something like that, or retained the piece of his equity. I don't even know what the deal is, but he made money on a deal to separate himself from the Penn Corporation or whatever it was that went and linked with ESPN to create ESPN Bets, which is issuing financial support clearly, so sponsoring plenty of things for ESPN because they were on the bottom right screen, which is how the bottom right screen of ESPN in the middle of their headline news. That's where the ESPN Bet thing is at. I'll get to that in a second, Cherokee. You read my mind. We're on the same page, man. Barkley's just out of his mind on this, man. I don't even know why. He just came off so defensive, and he's hypocritical as usual because what do I always say? He's the same guy that talks about Kevin Durant and these guys jumping teams. He's not a bus driver. Okay, you are the lead person. You and Shaq were leaving teams, jumping around before LeBron James and Kevin Durant did it. And regardless of how we perceive them in real time, you avoided all these real criticisms or critiques because you had a Nike campaign pushing for it. The 90s wasn't gonna, we weren't gonna kick you down like that because you were the anti-Jordan. You were not a role model. You were allowed to say things like this in your prime because of your personality, and you got over on it. Barkley and Kevin Durant don't have your personality, so they're not persuasive. They're not that funny to ever host a TNT show. That's where guys with a personality like this, they can get over on people because they're entertaining, and they can make you think that gambling addiction has nothing to do with a gambling scandal in the NBA. This is just stupid people. There's a couple of stupid people. That's all. They're just dumb.
Him betting, giving people information or taking himself out of games, how much is he gonna benefit taking himself out the game to get unders? Like, he's making $26 million. The notion he gave, how much of these guys he gave a head up, he took himself out of games on prop bets. How much money is he gonna make?
Well, if he did that, you're proving my point.
What do you mean?
Right. He is proving your point because it's now showing it's a sickness. But this is another thing I want to talk about because the mob is involved, and we'll get to Michael Francesi in a second, Cherokee, because he broke it down and he was a part of the mob, right? But this is another major issue that I have with people, and it affects all of us. Even when you see it now with the gambling thing, but you see it within, like, with rappers, you see it with anyone who's associated with gangster shit, right? Everybody wants they want what comes with being a tough guy, right? And being powerful. And everybody, I don't care what color you are, any association with that, there's benefits to it, but nobody wants to take the risk. Nope, I guess no pun intended, but pun intended in this one, right? And I believe the association for Terry Rozier and these guys should just sit down at a spot for Chauncey Billups. We haven't even gotten into the details of how they fixed these poker games. They had contacts that had X-ray vision on them and cameras underneath the table and just James Bond shit to be rigging games. Like, this is worse than them fixed dice that Jay Prince and them be rolling, right? So to be associated with the feds and all this, with the gangsters and all this, mobsters, right? There is still a thing to this where you're getting away with something. And Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, is, at the end of the day, it's gambling. And the people who are most associated with something like this in the underworld are the biggest gangsters that are around. So, and not even necessarily the biggest, but that's who's going to be able to bankroll something like this and have the network for something like this. And you know what it means if you do them a favor. And Terry Rozier doesn't have to have a gambling problem to be in the know with those guys. I don't know what it means if he lives in Orlando or Miami and then he flies out to Atlanta and he got an association. He's good over there with his people, right? There's something that comes with all this. There is an allure to this life. that lifestyle isn't just being in the NBA. You're the new people that you come across when you make it into a certain light. You're gonna meet people and come across people that you never thought you would come across. And I think for a lot of them, it's surreal. And I think they feel emboldened by it. They feel empowered by it. And you feel like you got the one up on everybody else around you. Even though I'm Terry Rozier and I'm, a role player off this court, I'm not really just a role player. So maybe it's a disillusion, right? Like a lot of guys, the ego takes over. And I think it's not just the fact that the gambling addiction is there, because clearly it might be other people around him that have the gambling addiction. He might be doing them a favor. He might be doing his man a favor. Yo, bet the 10,000 on this. I'm gonna sit out. These guys are making money on it anyway. You think he's not telling his friends to make money on it? If he told some guys he didn't grow up with to make money on this, so imagine if it's a way to get his friends paid. This is what comes with gambling. This is what comes with insider trading, right? There's no equity in the stock market for any of this shit. The stock market is in the underworld because you don't want people to know. It's insider trading. So that's what it is. Barkley being this upset about it is just crazy.
If you're making $26 million to try to win 50,000, like that's illogical. So that you're proving my point.
No, that's not addiction. That's stupidity.
The same reason someone goes and uses drugs when they're in the NBA.
Hey, drugs are addiction.
So there's no gambling addiction?
No, yeah, they are gambling addiction. But the notion that you're trying to make sure these guys being addicted, you can't fix basketball games. You cannot fix. Like I say, this is separate from Charles.
And Barkley got some nerve acting as if this is something new. So he said he took money from his college under the table. He said this. I didn't know about this. He always talks about it. I don't know about y'all, but I got paid in college, right? That was illegal. What if you got caught and they stripped the school from it? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I, Charles Barkley is just a hypocrite when it comes to this. And he's a hypocrite when it comes to a lot of things, but he's Sir Charles. We still love him. This is part of the problem about being human. There are certain people who have that persuasive personality that we're going to keep watching. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.